Yeah, do you the road then?
Yes, sir. Maybe they're not
What is he doing back there even?
He's getting an autograph
Oh, okay.
from this guy.
All right.
I don't know what's this gentleman.
All right. I'd like to have everybody out tonight. Thank you. It's starting to get cold. It's going to get colder, but it's warm. I am going to start by saying that obviously you're here tonight. Our next reading that we're going to have in this gallery will be Saturday, December 7th at 6 o'clock. It's going to be, how does she pronounce that?
Leonhard.
Leonhard.
Okay. See, I would never get that right. I like her, and I like her. But yeah, she will be reading here December 7th at 6. In between now and then, I might add a second. I don't know. At our calendar today, wants to come, poems, whatever it is you do. January 25th, Saturday, 6 o'clock. That's when our new year. And that's all I know. Right? So I never really plan these things as well. I have the order figured out. But I'm going to first welcome up someone who I'm more familiar with and you got more familiar with, and I'm glad that it's Julianne King. Bookstore in Missouri. Whether or not you're from this area, we have people that aren't today. She's always looking for readers at the store. So if you are thinking about a new place to read, hit her up and she will talk to you. She's very nice. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm going to try my very, very hardest to balance things tonight. Normally I try to do like a good variety. This is just a shit week. Political stuff tonight. But I'm going to start with Amanda Lovelace, who's one of my favorite modern day poets. This is a poem that says, "When I had no friends, I reached inside my beloved books and sculpted some out of 12-point Times New Roman." And the title of the poem is "And It Was Almost Good Enough." So that's Amanda Lovelace. She's great. I would like to read first from the Gasconade Review. I have the incredible honor of being in this collection with some just real beasts of poets. It's just wild. So I don't know what to say other than I'm really humbled by the fact that my poems are in here. And this title, "No One Sees the Irony," is actually the title of one of my poems. So that was weird and great. And I'm not going to actually read that poem tonight, although I love it. I'm going to read one that I have never read out loud before. It's called, well, I don't think I have, Labels. When I was 4 and wanted desperately to know how everything worked, no one mocked me. Instead, bought me my first encyclopedia, treasured my sparkling eyes and sponge like wine, and later when I wanted to know the whys of the world, my father brought me a timeline of everything, stacked atop all the others, Egypt and Rome, Anne Frank and Aristotle, the Inca and a fledgling America, all together on a page, one leading to the other, to the next, from the other, spontaneously together, brutally apart. Why then, when I turn the query inward, seek just the right word for the me that is I, am treated with such malice, such disgust, Why must there be a term for everything, from those who taught me the words were the keys to everything? Scorn at my inquisition from those proud of my inquisitiveness. My nature did not dissolve as I grew, did not dilute as I stretched into this shape. I am still me. Perhaps it is the way the words have always held a power over me, pulled me into random parlors, forced focus on Havish's aged hands, urged me to follow creatures through forests, tossed me down snowy hills with Jonas, scoured and revealed me. Words on pages felt real to me. I want to feel real to me. As real as the steam engine I have never seen. Jupiter, storm, atom, and electrons. I want to feel like all the parts are adding up to a whole, like the whole isn't broken from a sin I never committed, like whole isn't easily discarded, like whole belongs and has a purpose, like my purpose is more than just not dying. Like I get to live and write it and name it. You guys here. Thanks. So this one is called Carter County. I always think of this drive from the ages of 15 to 37. Every other weekend, I would drive from wherever I was living to Carter County. And if you've never driven south on 21, oh boy, are you missing out. It's beautiful land. And making this drive out here is similar if you go that way. And so I wanted to read it tonight. This is by Sleeves Press, this chapbook hanging art. This is literally my last copy of it. I think they might have a couple of more if you're interested in it. Carter County. There's a place where the pine tree. There's a place where the pine trees turn matchstick. Quiet has a texture like eardrums after concerts, and grasshopper knees are used to measure. Maple candies and fried okra flow like milk and honey beneath the security blanket of stars. 10 roof rainstorm aspirations. Busted lip, bloody knuckle conflict abated. Know the deer and dirt and goony birds by name. Sawmill sweet and lonely as she's ever been. Flatland empty of everything but seeds and promises. Strong and enduring as whiskey. Thanks. That's all of the positivity you get this week. This poem, one of the things that I hate most in my whole life, and I actually spent a small portion of my 20s slightly deluded into believing that I had a typewriter that was cursed, like the one from the Goosebumps books, that everything he wrote became true. And so I stopped writing for a little bit because I thought, I have to stop doing this. And so that's the theme of tonight's reading, is things that I wrote because I was afraid of them, and now they're true, and I wish that they weren't. Barn building in the age of individualism. Barn building in the age of individualism is being told you are selfish, asking for the help we have always needed. Barn building in the age of individualism is being mocked for your imperfections, lesson learned years ago, didn't you know better? Without a single example. Barn building in the age of individualism is to break your back doing the work of 4 men only to be told how to build what you've already created. Barn building in the age of individualism is to be told it should be easy if we are equal, but I am one and not many. Barn building in the age of individualism is to have a father up the street more capable than you will ever become, not knowing without a doubt that you cannot ever call him. Barn building in the age of individualism is starting over with stone and meal. Barn building in the age of individualism is wearing yourself to the bone, marrow, pulp, nerve root, to prove you are strong enough, smart enough, well enough to do it on your own, even if you are dying. Barn building in the age of individualism is to be measured by your ability to suffer alone, even if it kills you. happens, and it's confusing as an adult to have the morals that I have because of the people who raised me, and then be confused by the morals that I have. It's a real trip, especially when you're like diagnosed autistic, because you're like, guys, I don't know a lot of things, but I know I didn't change. It wasn't me. Like, I don't do that a lot. So this is about that. It's called progress. Progress doesn't mean what you think, Dad. It's not moving forward for moving forward's sake, just learning and doing a little better tomorrow. Isn't that what you taught me? That doing my best was only good enough if it didn't hurt anybody? And now I have this inkling, this notion that it could be better, or should be, or can be, if we just try a little harder and see things honestly, face the reflecting pool every day. Not to bow or bend, but to keep the traditions humming. Traditions like kindness, manners, reflex polite, like working hard, loving harder, and minding the weeds in one's own garden. Never mentioning the plank-filled eyes the neighbors aren't seeing. Isn't that what you taught me? That minding my business was my only business, and all shucks, they ain't hurting anybody. Rain, spring. Trust no one until they prove it, and education is the only hope we have of making it. That's good for our children. Better than we had, is still grateful for what we had, but isn't that what you were teaching? Then where did I do all this learning? Who taught me the value of checks and balancing power, the ease of indices, pocket constitutions that I carried so diligently? Who taught me, if not you? Please, because I feel like I'm going crazy. The skills you emblazoned upon me, blue ribbons of being good enough, are losing ink, revealing a secret I never wanted to hold. Worse than a prank or mistake, you simply don't know. And you don't know what pulled us onto the wide and narrow roads. You only know you can't go with me anymore. You've retired your thesaurus, tucked Miriam away. Persuasion is the softer ride to take. Maybe your bones are too weary, brain too filled with self-righteous glut to examine every news piece, annoyed at my insistence on questioning, but who taught me? Your hands, your voice, your books, my symphony, Concerto 78, the age of reasoning, every word soaked up, absorbed in the majesty, prepared for every argument, beliefs core deep, but you changed the key. I kept playing. You changed the video. I showed up, bells ringing, and you hated me. Maybe I remind you of the times you still had hope. Maybe I have the audacity to keep going. But to be a lifelong student is a sacred calling, as you taught me. I promise you taught me. Stuck with me through a 5-minute poem. Thank you so much. So with everything going on in the world, I don't know how many of you have experienced this, but my family has had 2 meetings in the last week about what are our signals that we leave the country. Does everyone have their passports? How many go-backs do we need for a family our size? Who are some people? Where do I send my poems? Because I'm at the cross-section of everything in Project 25. I'm queer and disabled, I'm divorced, I'm everything that they hate. I've written a couple pieces like that for government. And if you're not having those conversations, let me tell you, There are people in your life right now who are talking about when they have to leave. Not if, when. If you can't imagine being in that situation, if you're fortunate enough to not be in that situation, please be a safe space for people who are. Okay? Okay, this poem is about all the politics who directly affect one of my kids, who is non-binary and who was 10 years old when they received their first death threat. It's called Kind, Then Happy. I tell my children there are only 2 rules in this house. Be kind, then be happy. In that order. I don't care how you earn money or who you marry, as long as your happiness isn't at the expense of someone else's humanity. Then my 10-year-old announced they'd received their first death threat. Bus ride death threat. Cable news parroted death threat for being out and open, honest, and perfect. And I found the flaw in my own philosophy. You see, I don't want to raise the bravest soldier. I don't want to raise a single martyr. I just want my children to grow up. I want my children to grow up braver and smarter than I was, or ever could be. And maybe that's the lesson, kiddo. Your innocent bravery in these moments, forcing me to grow stronger for a future you are already living. But I'm scared and so selfish, because all I can think is that I want you to grow up safe, then kind, and then happy. In addition to a lot of this philosophy and hate that's going around is this idea that life is merit-based. Growing up in the Bible Belt, people are going to tell you that life is merit-based if you just work a little harder, if you just do more, if you do it the right way. It's horseshit, okay? And that's what this poem is about. It's called When I Was Homeless. When I was homeless, I had 3 kids. 3 kids I had been homeschooling. Homeschooling because I was a Christian. Christian moms earn their keep staying at home. Stay-at-home moms rely on their husbands. Husbands sometimes lose their jobs. When I was homeless, my husband found work. He found work and I got a job. One job for me became 2 jobs. 2 parents working 3 jobs wasn't enough. Not being enough can happen to anybody. When I was homeless, I never done an illegal drug. Drugs were something I saw every day at the bikini bar. The bikini bar paid bills but lost my respect. Jobs that people respect don't pay enough or require a degree. When I was homeless, I had a college degree. When I was homeless, my mother's basement sat empty. Empty basements are better than violent narcissists. Narcissist is a big word not to be used lightly. I lightly call her Gina. Gina is her name, but I use it to distinguish. Distinguishing between Gina and Mom is a matter of safety. When I was homeless, I was scared all of the time. Being scared all of the time turned me into a liar. I lied all of the time to everyone I knew. Everyone I knew thought we didn't need help. I told them we didn't need help, so I wouldn't expose our secrets. Secrets get people killed or their kids taken away. My kids being taken away would have killed me. When I was homeless, I lost my faith. Faith told me it was my fault for not being better in my secret heart. My secret heart just wanted my kids to eat. I guess my kids only eat when their parents are worthy. Worthiness is hard to prove when your kids are hungry. When I was homeless, I discovered creativity. I created warm supper from convenience store shelves. Convenience store shelves because we had no oven. No oven and no fridge for my toddler's milk. Milk she drank like I drank coffee. I drank coffee to drag me through 24-hour days. 24-hour days for 18 months. 18 months to learn the flaw of bootstrap mythology. It's a myth because gravity doesn't work that way. lucky. Lucky to have somewhere to hide. We hid so we wouldn't be reported and arrested. Being arrested takes away everything. Being taken away because we were unlucky. Being unlucky can happen to anybody. When I was homeless, I learned several lessons. Lessons like food stamps by Pop-Tarts and not pre-cooked chicken. Pre-cooked chicken as long as it's cold. And Yoo-hoos don't need a refrigerator. Cold chicken is still food. It's food, even if they meant it as a lesson. Lesson about working hard and deserving warmth. Deserving things and needing things to be worthy made me lose faith in almost everything. When I was homeless, I learned how to exist in a vacuum. A vacuum will take the breath from your lungs. Your lungs might never recover. Recovery is only possible if you're lucky, and luck of all kinds can happen to anybody. Thanks, guys. Okay, I only have two more for you. These two I literally wrote today. One I finished on the side of the building after I pulled out. So this one is called, I guess it is in here. This one is called Brainworm Guy Threatens Meds. I don't know if you know about RFK or junior, whatever, whichever number it is, but the dad was not important. He had a brain worm, ate his brain. Now he's in charge of health and human services. Yeah. Whatever. Yeah. He wants to put people like me in camps. Okay. When I was a child, I never dreamed of growing old, of being a grandmother. Never pretended to have grays in my hair or teeth near my bedside. I didn't dream of death, sweet and quiet, or dark and cold, but quiet, always quiet, beyond any hands and what they could do to me. I dreamed of dying, but I never dreamed of growing old. When I was dying, I never dreamed of being a child, only aging and the things I was missing when I was dying. I saw the faces I was leaving, apologized to each in turn for bringing my destruction into their lives. It was nothing like the peace of the dying I had dreamed. And the funny thing about this store-bought serotonin high I've been on is how utterly normal it has made me. Now I dream of gardening with my grandchildren, or laying under stars, or nothing. There is a blissful silence inside of me, or there used to be. A countdown has begun. 3 little red pills, square, and it all comes crawling back. The bars of my natural chemistry to cage me until it kills me. And I am so afraid. Afraid of the dying, certainly, but afraid of the waiting, the drowning, the trying of it all. Now that I've dared to dream of aging, I'm terribly afraid to dream again of dying. And this one is responses to the Your Body, My Choice chants. Your body, my choice. Your body, my trunk. Your body, my choice. Your body, my choice. Gay. Your body, my choice. My body, you can see me. Your body, my choice. Odd thing for a man with a flammable house to say. Your body, my choice. Dead men don't rape. Your body, my choice. Your body, my choice. Your body, my choice. I don't want to end on that. I'm going to end on one more. Take just a second. This is called Breed, or Bridget, depending on where you're from. Breed is the goddess of love, hearth, and war, and poetry. Idiosyncratic, an enigma, a woman. In keeping with her contradictory reputation, Bridget gained her sainthood by performing an abortion and turning water to beer, but that might be Irish wishing. And people ask, how can one goddess hold love and home and death singular thing. Thanks.
All right. Next person I'm going to bring up, and again, for another round of applause for Julianne King. The next person I am going to bring up, I met briefly in Owensboro, Kentucky. I will admit we were in a room that was sort of loud, so I really didn't get to hear people the way I wanted to. So if I don't really remember any of your poems, it's the room's fault, not mine. And so I really, it's kind of like coming at it with fresh ears and getting to hear someone for the first time, even though it's the second time. I'd like to welcome up Frogg.
Woo!
As a poet, I only know how to do one thing, and that's go. So out of respect for me, please save all clapping till the end. Let me get through this. I feel like it wastes time, and that's what we all don't have in this life. I'm going to start this off with the Patriot of Pointless. It's an acrostic. Wrote it many years ago, but it still resonates. We think too much and feel too little. Engineering here is built toward indifference, blind to ourselves, living in a fast-paced world, emptying pockets to even the odds, thriving on slow patience, opting for prejudice rather than compassion. Under an American sky, we are driven by greed. Respect is only given to the highest bidder. Selfishness is rewarded as carrying costs. Even in these times, we deny humanity a voice. Living in the moment, we scroll past memories, venerating valuables rather than character, encroaching borders while locking doors, separating views while dividing values, deepening debt to profit from poverty. Oppression governs by the red, white, and blue. Warring for minerals and battling for bullion, neglecting the opportunity to grow. Drop our programs, raise our taxes, overlook liberties and underhanded deals, narrow our laws while narrowing our minds, telling tall tales in short sentences. We carry big dreams and carry small wallets. Election day is near. The acrostic, we let ourselves down, don't we? Song worth saying. I think I did this at Barden Busker with a few of you. Chaotically, my mind sometimes follows me beyond the line of highway signs and mortal life's atrocities, speaking, not acknowledging, a past worth honoring, a blight to sorrowed times in my conscience still slowly following, mere existence, this repetition, a value lost all to life whom fail to see worth mention. So tell me, whose truths would you consume most daily? Love unbound from the garden groves or hell that's still worth tasting? These shallow years, they manifest in a death of a wish most wanting. If one can't make music or live for art, then the shadow's still worth claiming. No point to the pointless pointed out in the points we're painting. Gray hues of gloom, morose, obtuse for a picture made worth hanging. High spy, color ties, changing autumn shape shift. uncertainty that serpents sleep under red and black frosted leaves, withering willow, woeing glee, wrestle summer sting. Further we rush into winter now, watching dying trees ride along till tinted lights and the riffs of music made. I'd sell my soul for none I own to sing a song worth saying, to ponder on you. I pondered in the evening as the September sun ceases on what it would mean to be in your arms. I thought of its night and how stars were lying, wrapping our fingers in love. Would Aphrodite cry by your striking eyes, knowing I am not hers to keep? For your beauty alone cast a stone, crafting a sinner out of me. To invoke this confession, O goddess, I profess this. Your words, they rack me with grief, for the less that you say is the hell that I pay, when it is you all the more that I need. This virulent spell by your vulpine stare, a brown-eyed charm to my amorous dreams. If blessed with a moment, your touching us holding well, death would be well worth the sleep. In the face of all odds, you are the face I fall on, as your smile is my calming sea. Do not mistake this expression as an act of obsession while rolling in the waters of Lethe. I ponder in the evening as August went leaving on what it means to enter your heart. Under late night coals over a beautiful soul, diving deep into your gleaming iris. Coat check. Ooh, hang tight. Missing half of that. Lock it. A dead poet. These trucking grasses once moved with wind, while September sounded its song. Alone they lay in harrowsome fields, thatched across the mire. In the brisk years in, seeking for love to grow, I gazed into a thought. No sprout nor brack sprung from autumnal steps in the Australis which held my heart. Oh me, oh my, oh these yawping cries caressed in the mood of its rush. In the reeds once seen by the barren eyes of a teague, stand in the absence of where you are not. My palm, oh misfortune red, dreading the deliverer of morrow's song. A seance of sleep confounding me over dead memories on where you've gone. A night catcher. I fell from unfathomable heights, clinging to the night, crashing through stars and burning comets, holding on from an endless sky, finding a peaceful bliss, a space that is, watching the world hum out its tune. But if I slip and lose my grip, I will fall back staring at the luna. Misery is a crowded sea returning to earth that I once knew. So within the void, I find my joy in the thoughts of you. Tonight, two lovers leapt. This placed second place in the literary Leo in Louisville, Kentucky, from where I'm from. In the last warmth of autumn's hold, gripping damp November cold, protection from this fear while stripped from comfort clothes, leering in the dark, sweat rinsing palms, moving through words once smooth, lost a long ambiguous thought, an arid sugared spice, mulling on the mind, humming a little tune while staring into the night, sorrow shedding leaves by the limbering of the pines, near the Douglas keeping watch at the site where windows cry, under pattered raining roof, sounding current from broken breast. The heart once beat its truth, the night two lovers leapt. Pandemonium and white heath. Well, you can stay there. All right. Lost was I to the entrampment of sprigs, weaved from the pluckings of their nest, roosting autumn Persephone throne, aster melting twilight calm, thoughts of wind, which name drew, threshing petals in circled strife, offering wheat by Nigel mule, stripped their summer's dried, terracotta touch, pomegranate pressed, unceremoniously bound, love undying tithe to omen until new winter calls back out, Athanastras, coveting, O sorrow, bittersweet seeds consumed, Elysian wells spitting alba, golden roads balmed by chariot, anointing silver lakes and parting, caressed by Artemis, mourned by Nyx, garnet leaves trickle into the temple of Eversleep, bricked hands wed with bellfire, magic conscripted near Hecate, three-dog moon, observance, sorrow's torch. Couple more, and I will fuck off into the sunset. Alright. Ooh, dead man's bills. I'll do that and then I'll find the coat check. Yeah. Dead man's bills. Oh, Julianne, how and we wept, following along these lines until the depths nearly slipped, parting eyes in mist, sung below the seeds. And should you wake me then from a coma-colored dream, I will need you all the more, as setting sun shall come. A word or two in your arms will place me where thou art, in a purple room, with a river swale, with a stone so large it's standing sable, and it bears the weight of chaining mine from holding down and moving on in death. I once counted peace, and what remains and what she meant to me. Oh, your voice, how lovely so it seemed, calling me home back to you to end my journeying. You find that phone again, so I'm going to have to bring up that phone. Where did you go? Technological bastard. All right. It's called Code Check. It's going to be probably one before I get a couple more. How am I on time? Am I good?
You're doing fine.
All right. I'm getting fucking worried. All right. Code Check. This is a fucking tough one. All right. Trigger warning. I am the trigger. I thought her once beautiful beyond the scars that she carved into herself. My flesh, a prison of self, cutting the surface of existence, failed into gray eyes. I used to tell her, I love you. We used to be best friends, lost words not said, lost the things we could relate to, speaking in circles, and it didn't help that she bored me. When I loved you disappeared, she bored me. When taking on more work, she bored me. When I became lesser, she bored me. When she lost that spark in her eye, she bored me. When living without her, it bored me. Boring, boring, boring. Go deeper. I never wanted the surface when I was going after your heart. Go deeper, checking on the marks to see how deep the blade goes in. Go deeper. New cuts, another 7. Go deeper. You fucking said you'd stop. Go deeper. Carving away your thoughts. Go deeper. On canvas, go deeper. You won't even speak. Go deeper. We're stuck. Go deeper. We know how this wicked road leads one way. It goes deeper. Coat, please. Finally. Where did you go? Actually, I'll just bring them up again. I've got one. Get back. This is one of my newer ones. If I can get it up. Okay, here we go. Where did you go? Come on. Fuck it, I'm gonna do 2 more. It's called Clocks, and then I'm going to finish with the one I'm hunting for because I just lost it in my visuals with 25 drafts and 130 I've got on hold, so. Like, if watch clocks could count the times of short fuses with long tempers, its gears of aggression would stick in place without the wisdom of its restoration. And if time moved its seconds, would it second guess its death when it knows it's turning? In its bemoaning fields of missing sound, dreaming you into stagnancy? A wisp hissed its killing calm in the womb-woven ears of evening's charm, splitting vessels in the distance, pressing focus with commitment, seeing what was heard in stars. As snow-capped droplets, you fell to the engendering place that held my missives. On the good days, I feel immense rage. On the others, indifference. Through twilight megabursts and slow solar fluctuations, what was whispered would pass as all things. My body in fever, breathless as the river, the grass eats what remains. Beneath logic's restraint, a phantom face following the hole from a shell I shape, empty as the hours in a day. Touching fingers speak more softly than the body's convulsing, the pushing, the pulling, the wanting, the longing, the message, the presence, the needing, now nothing, as vast as the sky, remedial in thought, burning alive between the blink and its pace, notching tomorrow while fucking today. Love brings me more pain in the middle of the night. I would turn and walk away apathetic and with spite, knowing that the hands of death given to the plant are those same gambling hands going back into the land. And I find a happiness in that. Witnessing nature still live while taking still life, continuing growth while the others subside. I guess I believe in vengeance, as both feelings of time start off with a bang. Finally, here we go. At a loss for words, the final. Yeah. My dear, I swoon at the sight of those distant eyes, treading thoughts over the oceans of possibility. Plush lips painted with secrets speak to me in braille so I can feel them. Threaded fingers running heart and hands with footsteps we unravel their enigmatic talk, blinking in Morse code in hopes that we could save ourselves from the sinking of our woes. Your words soothe the burning within, the eyes stare, caress my ears as if home was found in each heartstring. I would pluck its sound from your voice, making a home inside of you. For if tomorrow would cease to be, today I would want all of you. Lying and laughing. The pause. I'm sorry. One more. Oh, fuck. I can't fuck off on this one though. Deep in a hole of Buckner Cave with Tyler Frederick and Michael Duckwall. This is called the Westgate Passage. Hollow, so hollow, where souls went washing down, swiping steps of remnant dust into nihilistic holes of empty sound, the grueling clinch of anguish while the body presses on. Another rush from Odin's mead with another mile to cross. Trickle ancient creek bed, splashing through proto rocks. A lowly chasm of a million tons past where we read our thoughts. Calcite clouds adorn this roof of mouth. Serpent pit, bones on the adventure strike, depths descent. The diamond light break. With iron jaw, and 5 come out. So just leave me where I stop. Thank you.
thing with the applause is always, it seems like I'm not actually listening. Like, if I actually am intently listening,
Thank you.
it's good. It's good.
Yeah, that was loud at Buster. Wonderful.
And Ron Whitehead, I couldn't hear it.
All right.
But, all right. I had the pleasure of talking for about an hour to Christine before she came in here. We never met before. I'm not as familiar with her work as I am with a lot of the folks that are here. Is the author of Tales from a Broken Girl, and she has another book up there as well. That came in from out of town has books. So I'd like to welcome Christine.
My name is Chris. I'm from Columbus, Indiana. And for those of you who spoke to me beforehand, you're aware of the really awkward human I am, so I'm just gonna read. This first one I would like to dedicate to a person that chose to vote their wallet as opposed to their conscience. Mine's a generation of youth worshipers playing Fight Club with middle age and make peace with our lives. We deserve dollars or hate. So welcome to Gen X, y'all, the shit show generation. Fed fear of the bomb mixed with neutral neglect. Raised with MTV attention spans and mad latchkey skills. Raised with a more 50s kind of way. We are the pickpockets who found our truths in rockers and peers, lifted individuality from the 60s. We are recipients of the trickle-down theory, economics, trauma. So don't talk to strangers. Don't ask going, because boys will be boys. And that's just like it is if you're gay or a girl. We're achieving, you can have it all, dance moms and dad. We are the classic love is all the things because time equals money and the lines became blurred. We are wine with friends and complaining they never come, while we laugh about glory days and wonder if a side feel. We are the lost, still trying to figure out who the fuck we are, while cleaning up the mess the Christian left and an environment the boomers forgot they wanted to save. We became or the legacy will leave as Kirk, hollow, self-centered. And if Ginsberg's Beat generation cried out with Powell, sound standing in the back member. This one's called The Fence. The dog is out for his morning attempts at the fence. It's not solid chain link or 6-foot wood, more a ma and pa kettle affair, pieced together from bits of our lives, found objects, plywood, wire, and an old chair frame, side by side with sturdy gates and an abandoned car hood, all covered in ivy growth to fill in the blanks. The dog could leave any time he chose. Not many places would hold the weight of his rush, but the illusion of boundaries keeps him safe and content in the confines of what we call our yard. Scratch his head and tell him, "Same for us, big dog." The illusion of boundaries keeps us snug in our lives, never moving past the fences we create. Our days, self-imposed time. I watch him move your comfort over, shutting the door on the outside. For a split second, curl up on the couch. I think about what that would be like if it's I always crack jokes that this one really ticks off my grandson's parents. And that's the pics I get of reading it. Reading it, it's not friggin' true anymore. It's called Wild Child. Wild hair, wild eyes. You were wise, wearing beads in your curls, with ivy pants and a thistledown shirt, sipping nectar from honeysuckle, speaking the language of trees and stealing how to speak without singing. Sit up straight, say please. We'll put on your feet, cover your paws with shoes and gloves. This big thing that only speaks to you in your dreams, and you won't even remember why. Because we are a civilized society that eats the poor and caters to the rich, and there is no room for wildness or bird song or trees, only for the polite predators who hunt in boardrooms. I look at the headlines and words jump off the page. Ripped, divided, torn. And I think about my mother. I walk to work past throwaway people that life used harshly before using them up. And I think about her loom. My mother wove rag rugs, collecting cast-off clothes, jeans, stained shirts, things that no longer were for intended use, but had use to her. I'd sit with my knitting, watching her cut with stiff, saving every inch to tear into colorful balls. We'd talk while she worked, me knitting to a prescribed pattern. Winding the shuttles with reclaimed denim and chenille, remade into a... My needles would click their knits while I watched her choose to work, thick fingers threading the petals. I used to love to pick the pattern that ultimately... As we'd sit in silence, counting stitches, inches and back and forth. I ripped out my mistakes and dropped stitches, thinking things had to be perfect and right. Her mistakes, but few, became part of the weave, adding beauty to every piece. At home, I was working and pulling to block it in shape. In her basement, she tied and trimmed the fringe before placing the rugs on the table into their. My mother in a way. She chose to remake the useless and beautiful others saw only trash. I look at the headlines before leaving for work. Smile pass as I walk. And I'm not thinking of ways to knit things back together. I think of old ladies weaving rag rugs on their looms. Because like a lot of others, well, everyone said it, I did not. I think kind of down. It's called down today. Came out of the dark where I wonder from time to time to taste the light as it my skin, lick it from my arms and and feel its warmth on my tongue as it slides to my belly, lighting fires of passion where it lands in the pit. I came out of the dark to eat the wind, to snap at dragonflies and chase a puppy at its heels, playing fetch with words and ideas, all this energy mark the world mine. I came out of the dark, walked proudly through the day, head high, to show the young that age is not the enemy. As we walk down the sidewalk, two lovers in sync, to kiss its mouth and swallow its feel. Place truth on the table. A dish is flavored on rusty plates with gold forks, always there with gratitude. The bottle passed freely between winos and the park. I came out of the dark, leaving breadcrumbs behind for friends to find, strangers to follow. Of need to feed crumbs while singing. This is life. Meant to be. I came out of the dark, done with rest, shaking drawer cold from my fur, flicking loneliness from desires of the moment while going underneath. Squatting to touch the earth, steady eyes, empty from the night, and hungry to be filled for a day.
Chris, thank you so much. And Wendy, tell her she's welcome anytime. I know that she said she was having some health-related stuff. You know. And with that conversation with me about half a while now. Haven't got to know as well, but they will.
us here. The three of y'all were fantastic before me. Definitely a hard act. When she got called. But I know how that is. American John. Unrighteous false persecution that I'm free to see ourselves. Judge in someone else's eye from the walls that we've built around. Yeah, you probably thought I was gonna get all holy on you, didn't you? Nah. If you're feeling damned, that's we have enough obstacles in this life to not go tripping each other up. But people be tripping holier than thou when you know. I said none of us are any better than the next. Unrighteous laws, persecution, our lack of freedom, yes, ours. Because they won't stop these hypocrites that make the most shameful in the dark. They crave power and they get off on control. And right now, my friends, they're having an orgy at our expense. If we let them rule one of us, we let them rule all. Denial of freedom, this persecution, these unjust laws. Blue prostitute named America, and all of us, it's John. No matter how they try to spin it, we just keep getting fucked. Bloody footprints. Can't. Honestly, just can't. There are no words to describe this feeling. I'm being honest here with my guts on the floor, tangled up in your shoe. As you leave bloody footprints all over me. I honestly can't find a way to describe how this life has me knotted up inside. Still you stomp, demanding I find them, find the words that just aren't there. Walking around as if you own the place, white shoes, now red over me. With guts and words I know I'll never find. Share out from beneath myself. Strung out. I gotta get my fix, earn some money so I can pay it. I gotta find a job that's legit. 'Cause I got in the streets, no more slinging dope, no more good cooking, trading time for smoke. I got bills to pay. I got a drug test to take. You know what I mean. I need that 401k. I gotta take care of me. I gotta be the American dream. I got bills to pay. Before the bottom drops out of all of this paper money, it ain't shit. You know it scratches my ass when I wipe with it. Bills to pay. That's why I sacrifice my dreams for this almighty dollar. Can you hear me? I got bills to pay. Because in America, none of us are free. We're slaves to greed. I got bills to pay. Real quick with vacation. Because I got bills to pay. The landlord on my door, he wants his rent. All of my money's already spent. God almighty, I got bills to pay. I gotta find a job that's legit so I can get my fix. Because I'm jonesing for those dirty dollar banknotes. They ain't a fucking joke. We all got bills to pay. Living day by day, strung out. This one here is a true story. I used to think the safest place to be was in a graveyard. I jokingly said, black Chevy van, parking graveyards to sleep at night, awaken to frosted windows and cold beds, watch my breath in the air, shiver, a chill. I woke up this morning feeling the same way, just living this life that we all live today. The safest place to be is right here in the now. There's nothing to be afraid of. We're all dying one by one. Our grave waiting for us to come. I jokingly say, everyone's dead. But nowadays, serious conversation. Enduring. I go to bed alone and I wake up the same. I could be lying right next to you and somehow I feel all alone. It's how I wait when I reach out to you. They do feel real sometimes. Maybe it's how you interrupt whenever I'm talking my dreams. I could have been silently speaking inside my own head. Maybe feeling alone, even by my bed. These nightmares. Maybe my dreams aren't interesting enough to hold attention, not even my own. I reach out, you roll away. Am I asleep? Am I awake? With or without you, I'm always alone in my mind, beneath this blanket of the sky. Maybe you should save yourself, unless the loneliness has already taken hold. Tell me, sometimes mine, and other times it's just me lying next to you as I am a nightmare one way at a time. Against the tides. Look, swimming against the ones who want to save another, the ones who risk it all, defending friends, the ones who have nothing to gain, people who live for change, thriving in the full moon. The night's crazy runs wild, and the currents pull at our souls. When we swim out into the undertow and risk it all, to save anyone reaching out their hand when they're drowning. Look for people who see it and feel it, asking for nothing but just to be accepted, living their life. Look for these people. Look to see one looking back. Those who swim against the tides. And I can only hope to see one in a mirror, living a life that pulls me under every chance it gets, making me remember, making me forget the best. And as I'm sinking towards the ocean floor, I think of love. In this moment, I reach and I'm going under, hoping someone sees me. People who are swimming into the undertow. My is more often than not sinking in the dark. I'm reaching out. I love you. All right. And it's not happy one. So it's like, oh, let's throw it in. Deep driver. Should I shut my eyes since the lies you keep telling me try their best to hold them closed, thinking I don't see everything happening around me? Shopping overseas, money's being thrown into the fire, a furnace that heats, that fuels this world's desires. Honey, didn't Pink Floyd sing about it? Didn't John Lennon get shot for pointing out these? Our government's been bought and sold way before I came to this. How long will I live after opening my eyes to this corruption? Our taxes are being wasted. On the side of the road gets more attention, helping hurricane victims, and we all get ticketed for their land. Leveling houses and afterthought. Who cares on their side when their religion doesn't match yours? Kill them all, God. But who's God talking about? So I don't speak truth. The county will resolve death. Taxi driver, the ground begs for more death. I do your best to shut a life that's barely alive, living just enough to pay your taxes. I've seen draining Americans. So no matter who we vote for, our government's corrupt. At least he's here, maybe more that he told, or should I say, the war. Each and every basket, pour each and every basket, and people get shot for place. Just ask when you reach the other side. This world is a lie, and our money was ours to begin with. Garbage on the side of the road is worth more than the paper in my wallet. And John's saying about all of this, fighting for it. And Kennedy, how can we say we're free when we pay for everything? And God is a waste, and we pay for that parking lot, killing women and children. When I see it all, and I know too, money being thrown into the military industrial, it never ends. Open your eyes to the truth, and then talk about it.
Somebody stole for the open mic, so I have one of my flying a second one. Please don't steal this one.
Probably Frogg. He grabbed a bunch of stuff.
Form and like I will. This is not a poetry open mic. We want artists of all mediums. Just generally, poetry is what we get. If you do any, you juggle anything. So
Well, no juggling.
I feel like I'm juggling every day. So I'm going to tell you take exactly. I have post-traumatic stress from the woman that Jason and I for that woman that held us hostage over in Oakville.
What? I was.
Yes, you remember the one I'm talking about. Experiences of my life, but take exactly 10 minutes. Please, folks, if you haven't thought about picking up books from them, go ahead and do that. Take exactly 10 minutes because I'm feeling a lot of people want to be part of the open mic. Sweet, I got my original notebook there. All right. I'm going to put a Sharpie right here, so go ahead and sign this.